it's Jessica from Peace Love Books, and today we're with the book review for Half-Blood by Jennifer Armentrout. This one's the old cover. She's redone all the covers. She's redone the covers for like every single one of her series now. That's just what authors are doing right now. But this one was the Pick What I Read Next for August. This and The Hardest Fall by Ella May's one. I read this first. It's pretty short, but it took me like 4 days to get through, which doesn't seem like a lot, but that's a lot to me. It's not even 300 pages. It is like taller though, so I feel like it took me a while to get through each page. But this one came out in 2011, which is the year I graduated high school, so think about all the stuff that was coming out of that time. This definitely fit that mood to a T. So the biggest controversy over this series is how closely aligned it is to the Vampire Academy series by Rochelle Mead. I was obsessed with Vampire Academy in high school. I vividly remember buying the last book of the series from Barnes & Noble, which I didn't really buy a lot of books then because I was going to Niagara Falls with my family and we were driving there from Ohio, so it wasn't like too long of a drive. But I remember buying that book and reading it because I was obsessed with it and obsessed with the romance. And in this one, we have kind of the same thing, but with demons instead of vampires. So there's the Half-Bloods and the Pure-Bloods, and our main character is a Half-Blood, and she's training to be a fighter because the Half-Bloods are either fighters or servants. In Vampire Academy, the half-vampires are the ones who protect the vampires, all that fun stuff. So the premise is kind of similar, the world is kind of similar, she's being trained by this guy, there's a forbidden romance because she starts liking the guy, but he's a pureblood and she's not, and there's like a big no-no, no purebloods, and half-bloods are allowed to have a romance or else it is completely stopped if they find out, and the half-blood is forced to be a servant. So the half-blood basically ruins her life for a romance, and the pureblood gets away with everything. And so, in this one, since I've read and loved Vampire Academy, the romance was so not there for me. If I read this in 2011, I probably would have die-hard fangirled over this book. I probably would have loved it. It's got the same kind of cheesy, melodramatic elements that Vampire Academy has. Granted, I fell in love with Vampire Academy in 2010, 2009. It was like early 2010 is when I was reading that series. So I loved it when I was in high school. So if I was in high school and read this, I probably would have loved this. But it just seemed like they like had a romance, but I never felt that romance. I don't know. It was just like I knew that was going to be a forbidden romance, and like there was some tension between them that I myself didn't feel like the author did a good job building up. And I think a big part of that is the fact that I really did not like our main character. So Rose in Vampire Academy kind of acted like she did. They're very much angry and trying to do what they want and breaking the rules because no one can tell them what to do, and they don't have any good reason for that. It's bad to say, I hate bad girl books. I don't like the girl who's breaking all the rules, does what she wants, and doesn't ever get in trouble because she just keeps on doing it. I don't like them. And this girl, I don't even know what her name is. Alex, sorry. Alex literally has no reason. She's just annoying to be annoying. So I really didn't like her as a character. She didn't really have a lot of friends, and then I feel like the way this book shifted from training to her with her friends, the pacing was super weird, that like it just shifted scenes within like a paragraph, and I was kind of confused. And so I didn't really know a lot of her friends. And of course we have the cliche mean girl who's her arch nemesis kind of thing going on, and they love to just like give banter, witty one-liners to each other like, oh, like you're so orange because you're self-tanning. That's not even witty. So like, I don't know, it just seemed like very 2000s Mean Girls kind of thing, but not like funny like Mean Girls is. So this just like seemed like a very aged book to me. It's clear this came out in 2011. It's just like, maybe that's why people love this series and wanted me to read it, because they read it back then and loved it. A lot happened, but then like a lot didn't happen too. I was like 200 pages in and I'm like, literally she's just trained. I don't think anything has happened since the beginning except for her training and like going to a party. But nothing happened really until the end, and then like I didn't care by that point, and I just didn't want to keep on reading, and it was kind of obvious like where this surprise was going to happen, because like something that she discovered early on in the book, I was like, well duh, that's going to apply to her, because why else would you be telling us right now? And so nothing was really surprising to me. There's kind of going to be a love triangle now that I'm just like, cool, I don't care. I didn't find myself caring about the relationships or really anything about this book. I gave it 3 to 5 stars. Like I said, it had so much potential. I still got through it, and I still see like why it could be a good YA romance, but it felt so old to me. Not in like the references and stuff, but just like the writing style and like the angst that the characters were going through. That's not really angst. It's just like we have our typical angry bad girl who needs to be whipped into shape but still doesn't want to do what people tell her to do, so she breaks all the rules, almost gets everyone killed, and has a love triangle. Like, that is just the recipe for later 2000 paranormal romances, and that's what this is. Was I uncomfortable that I was super like Vampire Academy? A little bit. That's a huge thing people say in reviews I've read, that it rips it off. I can't say for sure it rips it off. It just seems eerily similar, that you would think if there was that big of a popular series right before this, that this wouldn't have happened, or they would have had something that was glaringly different, which maybe what they had happen at the end was her take on doing something different. But just like the whole training with someone and falling for the trainer, and there being half-bloods and purebloods. She didn't have a best friend like Rose did in Vampire Academy, but I don't know. I wanted her to have more friends other than the one that she had. There was like weirdly, characters weren't really fleshed out. We had our, her training partner who she's kind of fallen for. He had a brother, but like, I feel like we didn't really get anything of him. I don't get what his point was. Why was he even in there? Why did she even interact with him? They were just characters that I didn't see their point, or I wanted more from them. And like, it seemed like it went too fast, but too slow at the same time. So, I don't know, 3 to 5 stars. It's just a dated paranormal romance that I feel like I'm too old now to appreciate. That was probably in its prime in 2011, but just not anymore. And those are my thoughts on Half-Blood. Let me know down below if you've read it and what your thoughts were. I would love to hear. As always, thank you so much for watching, and have a good day. Bye.